Hello everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to follow the story of Evernight episode 15. Previously. After reaching the second floor of the old library, Ning Ke sincerely persuaded Xie Chungyun to stop risking his life in the competition. Deeply moved by his words, Xie Chungyun bowed in gratitude and voluntarily left the second floor, bringing their rivalry to an end. Episode 15. Following the female instructor's suggestion, Ning Ke tried writing a few words and soon realized that he still couldn't remember anything he had read in the books. Instead of copying the text, he decided to write down his own thoughts and feelings after spending 17 days reading on the second floor. When he finished, he slipped the paper into the book Introduction to Snow Mountain and Shi before quietly leaving. That night, after the entire academy had fallen silent, a hidden bookshelf on the second floor suddenly slid open, revealing a secret passage. A chubby young student wearing the academy uniform crawled out with great difficulty. This was Chen Pipi. As he squeezed through the narrow tunnel, he complained non-stop about the person who designed the mechanism, grumbling that it was impossible for someone as overweight as him to pass through comfortably. He also complained that his second senior brother had deliberately tested him by hiding an elementary cultivation book, forcing him to recall knowledge he had learned as a child. While searching through the shelves, Chen Pipi finally found Introduction to Snow Mountain and Shi. The moment he opened it, a folded sheet of paper slipped out. It was the very note Ning Ke had left behind, and this unexpected discovery would become the beginning of an unusual friendship between the two. At first, Chen Pipi simply admired the elegant handwriting. However, as he continued reading, he gradually became fascinated by the strange dilemma described by the unknown writer. For 17 consecutive days, the writer had climbed to the second floor to study. Yet every word disappeared from his memory the moment he finished reading. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't retain a single sentence. This left him questioning not only his own mind but also the very nature of reality. He wondered whether the written words truly existed, whether memory could be trusted, and where the boundary lay between illusion and truth. As an exceptionally gifted genius, Chen Pipi viewed these thoughts from a completely different perspective. He believed the writer had trapped himself inside endless philosophical speculation and was making a simple problem unnecessarily complicated. Unable to resist showing off his own understanding, Chen Pipi took out his brush and wrote a lengthy reply on the back of the paper. In his letter, he argued that the objective world undeniably exists. Words are real, paper is real, and reality should not be questioned endlessly. According to him, people should trust what they can directly see instead of constructing endless chains of doubt that only distance them from the truth. To explain his point, Chen Pipi used an outrageous yet humorous analogy. He compared truth to a beautiful woman standing completely naked. Instead of endlessly discussing how beautiful she might be, one should simply face the truth directly. Every unnecessary explanation, he wrote, was like dressing the woman with another layer of clothing until her true appearance was completely hidden. He concluded with his characteristically shameless remark that women were meant to be embraced, not endlessly analyzed. After finishing the letter, Chen Pipi was extremely pleased with himself. Since childhood, he had always been the one receiving instruction from others. This was the first time he had the chance to teach someone else from the perspective of a genius. After allowing the ink to dry, he carefully placed the letter back inside the book and quietly returned it to the shelf. Although he knew he had broken the rules of the old library, he remembered one of his teacher's famous sayings. Rules are nothing more than a fart. With that thought, Chen Pipi happily left, completely unaware that this small act would eventually change another person's destiny. Meanwhile, after another exhausting day on the second floor, Ning Ke returned to Old Brush Shop late that evening. Chu Yuxian accompanied him home, worried about his worsening condition. Before leaving, Chu Yuxian praised Ning Ke for persuading Xie Chungyun to give up the competition, believing it was an act of generosity and forgiveness. Ning Ke simply smiled and admitted that he wasn't nearly so noble. The real reason was much simpler. He wanted Xie Chungyun to give up the sunny seat near the window, so he could enjoy reading in the warm sunlight. Hearing such an honest answer, Chu Yuxian became even more convinced of Ning Ke's humility before finally saying goodbye. Back at Old Brush Shop, Ning Ke was almost completely exhausted. Tang Tang had already prepared a warm towel to place over his face, just as she had done every day since he began studying in the old library. Covered by the warm towel, Ning Ke quietly said that he wasn't hungry and only wanted a simple bowl of fried egg noodles. Seeing how pale and weak he looked, Tang Tang couldn't help persuading him to stop going to the academy the following day. She alone knew how much he had suffered. Every day he acted normally in front of others. But every night he returned home mentally and physically drained. He often vomited repeatedly and struggled just to finish a simple meal. After remaining silent for a long time, Ning Ke finally agreed to take one day off. He smiled and said it had been a long time since he had taken Tang Tang anywhere. So he wanted to bring her out for a walk. Besides, Princess Li Yu had recently invited Tang Tang to visit the princess manor. Hearing that the princess wanted to see her, Tang Tang was both surprised and delighted. As she gently massaged Ning Ke's forehead, easing his headache and fatigue, Ning Ke calmly revealed another purpose behind tomorrow's trip. Besides visiting the princess, he intended to eliminate the second name on his revenge list, Chen Zixian. Tang Tang's hands paused for a brief moment. She lowered her head and looked at her worn shoes, clearly wishing that her young master would never again walk down such a bloody path. The next day, Ning Ke skipped the academy and accompanied Tang Tang to the princess manor while secretly preparing to assassinate Chen Zixian. Although Tang Tang had long grown accustomed to Ning Ke killing people, she worried far more about his rapidly deteriorating health. Every night, the mysterious characters from the books transformed into countless black runes that invaded his mind, causing unbearable pain and violent vomiting. Even so, Ning Ke refused to give up. He firmly believed this was the only opportunity in his life to step onto the path of cultivation. At the same time, he understood that his body was growing weaker every day, making it even more urgent to complete his revenge before losing the strength to fight. At the Princess Manor, Tang Tang received an exceptionally warm welcome from Princess Li Yu. The princess asked about their life in Chang'an, praised Tang Tang for her diligence and loyalty, and even offered to buy back her freedom. She invited Tang Tang to become the steward of the Princess Manor so she would no longer have to work so hard serving Ning Ke. However, Tang Tang politely refused. Her heart belonged only to her young master, and she had no intention of leaving his side. Outside the residence, Ning Ke chatted with Peng Guotao. During their conversation, he learned that Peng Guotao had been promoted to deputy commander of the cavalry battalion while continuing to serve as Princess Li Yu's personal protector. Although they reminisced about past battles, Ning Ke also realized that the princess was quietly attempting to recruit him into her political faction. This only strengthened his determination to keep his distance. He clearly understood that he was merely a small figure caught in the struggles of the imperial court. Ever since the battle at Spring Breeze Pavilion, he had unwillingly stepped into the dangerous world of political conflict. Nevertheless, his goals had never changed. He wanted to focus on cultivation, continue studying at the academy, and complete his revenge one step at a time. He refused to become a pawn in the power struggles of the empire. While waiting for Tang Tang, Ning Ke rested beneath the warm spring sunlight to relieve his exhaustion. There, he unexpectedly met Little Man. The cheerful boy immediately recognized Ning Ke and happily asked him to tell another story, just as he had done before. Seeing the child's innocent smile, Ning Ke decided to tell him the story of the little prince. Little Man listened with sparkling eyes, completely captivated by the tale. After Tang Tang finished speaking with Princess Li Yu, the two left the manor together. On the way home, Tang Tang repeatedly praised the princess, believing she was genuinely kind because of the way she cared for both Tang Tang and Little Man. Ning Ke, however, disagreed. He believed that someone standing at the center of imperial politics would never act purely out of kindness. According to his reasoning, Princess Li Yu's deep affection for Little Man was driven not only by love for the child but also by overwhelming guilt toward the late Khan. He explained that her marriage to the Khan had once brought her tremendous political advantages. However, as the Tang Emperor grew older and the struggle for succession approached, she had to return to Chang'an. To come back as a respected widow worthy of sympathy, the Khan had to die. For that reason, Ning Ke suspected that Princess Li Yu had either orchestrated or at least been connected to the Khan's death. Tang Tang found the accusation impossible to accept. She insisted there was no evidence and reminded Ning Ke that the princess had been only 12 or 13 years old when she married into the grasslands. Ning Ke calmly replied that age had nothing to do with ability. When he himself was only 12 or 13, he had already killed numerous bandits just to survive. In his opinion, such an outstanding and capable Khan could never have been assassinated by an ordinary enemy. Only the person he trusted and loved the most could have approached him closely enough to kill him. The conversation gradually became heavy and somber. Tang Tang sadly asked why Ning Ke always viewed the world with such darkness. After a long silence, Ning Ke quietly answered that since childhood he had lived through war, witnessed his entire family being slaughtered, and even found Tang Tang among piles of corpses. Those experiences had taught him that the real world was nothing like the happy fairy tales people wished to believe. As rain began falling from the sky, Ning Ke walked ahead beneath the gray clouds. Seeing how lonely he looked, Tang Tang hurried after him, stepped beneath the umbrella beside him, and tightly grasped his sleeve. The tension between them slowly disappeared. Ning Ke smiled faintly and admitted that he had once believed people who lived by their emotions were simply fools. But now he understood that they were, in fact, the most pitiful people of all. Because emotions often brought the deepest pain. That concludes episode 15. If you enjoyed today's recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the latest episodes. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.
Đi đi. Phim thuyết minh bởi website mod3d.com. Hôm nay là người thứ 27. Còn ai nữa không? Ta. Người cứ đọc như vậy, sẽ mất mạng đấy. Đừng trách cha giấu con. Đó chính là 20 vạn lượng. Ôi chao. Những điển tịch tu hành trong tầng lầu này, mỗi một chữ mực bên trong, đều là tuyệt phẩm của thần phù sự bạc. Ai bảo thư viện không nhận tiền. Vào lầu 17 ngày. Hai người các ngươi đều rất có nghị lực, nhưng phải biết rằng đám mọt sách chua ngoa đó nhận toàn là khoản lớn. Ngày ngày khổ tu, muốn nhập thư, phá thư, bắt buộc phải đạt cảnh giới động huyền. Tiết học đầu tiên của chúng ta sẽ cùng mọi người bàn luận. Nếu Hạ Thừa Vận đã vượt qua cảnh giới cảm chi, còn thể chất của ngươi căn bản không thích hợp tu hành, đừng trách cha giấu con. Đó chính là 20 vạn lượng, những chữ ấy là hư vọng. Vì sao ta lại nhìn thấy chúng? Chi bằng sớm trở về đi. Xin hỏi tiên sinh, bạc. Ai bảo thư viện không nhận tiền? Nếu chúng là chân thực, khi ngài mới vào thư viện, đã đạt tới cảnh giới động huyền chưa? Đám mọt sách chua ngoa đó nhận toàn là khoản lớn. Vì sao ta không thể ghi nhớ? Học sinh vẫn muốn đọc thêm ít ngày. Tiết học đầu tiên của chúng ta sẽ cùng mọi người bàn luận. Nếu chúng tồn tại giữa chân thực và hư vọng, cuối cùng vẫn phải lượng sức mà làm. Vâng. Nhưng chưa từng nghe nói hùng ưng trên trời lại đố kỵ gà cỏ dưới đất. Tiểu tráng sĩ, quả nhiên ngươi đã vào thư viện. Nhưng đáng hổ thẹn nhất là các thảo dân bái kiến công chúa điện hạ. giúp người ngoài đối phó người nhà. Vô Thải, người đã vào thư viện. Từ nay về sau, người vốn là nha đầu thông tuệ, sao giờ lại ngu ngốc đến vậy? Tang Tang, lại đây. Trừ công tử. Ninh Khuyết, người cũng đến tham gia